We're so glad to have you here today. My name is Muhi Khwaja. I'm the co-founder of American Muslim Community Foundation, and so excited to have you here today. Um, it's been a long journey with AMCF, and so grateful for your support and also for your partnership and dedication. We're really excited to um, be here. So without further ado, I'm going to ask for Qari Muhammad Patel from Toronto to lead us through verses 261 to 265 of Surah Baqarah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم. الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى والله غني حليم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابه وابل فتركه صلدا لا يقدرون على شيء مما كسبوا والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. ومثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم ابتغاء مرضات الله وتثبيتا من أنفسهم كمثل جنة بربوة أصابها وابل فآتت أكلها ضعفين فإن لم يصبها وابل فطل والله بما تعملون بصير. صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you so much, Qari Muhammad. We really appreciate your recitation, and hopefully those of us who are listening are reminded of the power of these verses and why we are called to give in Islam and working towards creating a more just and better society through our sadaqah and through our zakat. So I want to briefly take everybody through a little bit more about American Muslim Community Foundation, what we are, who we are, what we do, why we do this. So a community foundation essentially is a nonprofit organization. just like the thousands, millions that are registered in the United States and the thousands that are quote unquote Muslim nonprofits. And essentially, it is for the benefit of the community. Many community foundations are regional across the country, serving a state or a region or a county, but AMCF is a national community foundation working for the entire Muslim community. And we serve our donors, we serve the nonprofit sector, and we are governed by a board, which you'll hear from one of our board members today. And essentially, you'll hear about our programs and services as well. So none of this could be possible without your presence and attending today, but also because of the generosity of over 100 sponsors and supporters through the years. So I just want to take a brief moment to acknowledge so many of those critical supporters that we've had in the last 7 years, and more specifically, those that have sponsored us this year. So I want to thank the VFairs platform for hosting this great virtual event. And those of you who logged into VFairs, you got to see the cool layout there and you got to see the exhibit hall, which I hope you take time to go back to and chat with our sponsors. You've seen the auditorium and that's how you're here today. So thank you as well to IRA Capital and to Inspired Generosity and Nonprofit Solutions. And we'll go through the rest of them later throughout the program as well. So I want to remind everybody that a portion of our proceeds will benefit AMCF's Collaborative Fund for Palestine. You're going to hear about what this collaborative fund does later in the program as well. And we're actually going to be granting out about $18,000 to 3 charities live in today's program. So another very exciting moment towards the end of the program after we hear from a few of our speakers. So today is launching our year-end fundraiser. So this slide will come up several times throughout the program, and I definitely encourage you to scan the QR code, head to our website, make contributions. And really what you're able to do with your support today is support Muslim philanthropy for today and future generations. A gift to AMCF empowers our donor and nonprofit ecosystem. And again, I'll share a little bit more about what that means. So I want to pass it over to Amna Khan Mirza, who is a board member at American Muslim Community Foundation, to share a little bit more about why she joined AMCF's board.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you. First, I'd love to welcome our distinguished guests, friends, and fellow visionaries. It's a big word, I know, but believe me, you all are. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the American Muslim Community Foundation, it really is my honor to welcome you to this year's annual symposium, the Muslim Philanthropy Awards. Our theme, Planting the Seeds for Your Legacy, beautifully captures the spirit of our gathering here today, a celebration of the foresight, dedication, and generosity that is shaping the future of our Muslim community. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us together here today. I also extend my deepest thanks to Amina Sayed and Ubaidullah Evans for being our special guests, and a huge amount of gratitude to Muhi and the AMCF team for planning every detail of this event over the last 4 months. Alhamdulillah for you all. Today, we celebrate the achievements and the visionaries and institutions that exemplify what it means to serve, to inspire, and to lead. I was drawn to AMCF by my deep, really sincere belief that philanthropy is not just an act of giving, but it's an act of vision. And also that it is our time to play a crucial role in mobilizing resources to address the specific needs of our communities, fostering our philanthropy, and supporting our nonprofit organizations to create lasting strategic impact in this country. Every seed we plant today, your small gift, your presence, every initiative we nurture is a step towards building a future where our community thrives and not simply survive. To do that, we must think beyond the immediate. That's why AMCF exists. It's a catalyst for strategic philanthropy, and it's so very important. We help individuals and families channel their generosity into lasting impact to ensure that our investment today is not just doesn't just yield rewards, but creates a legacy for us and our family. This evening or this afternoon, wherever you are, we are here to celebrate the remarkable achievements of those within our Muslim philanthropic circle. These honorees have shown us what it means to lead with compassion, to innovate with purpose, and to dream boldly. Their work reminds us of the immense potential we hold as a Muslim community when we channel our talents and our resources towards the common good. But let's not just stop at admiration. Today, I want all of you to reflect on how you can leave your mark. Please use the QR code that Muhi will share for your gift. I want you to think of how we can be architects for a stronger future for our families and our community and for humanity at large. As we consider our legacies, we cannot ignore the challenges facing Muslims around the globe, especially our brothers and sisters in Palestine and the oppressed everywhere. Too often, we find ourselves on the margins of the world stage. Our cries, as we have seen, have been met with indifference, our unity tested. But what if our collective resources could speak louder than words? What if your investment today builds institutional strength that becomes an answer to these challenges? What if our collective power and money actually created change? If we want to shift the narrative locally and globally, it begins here with AMCF. It begins with the seeds that we plant tonight and the commitment we make to cultivating them. As we honor tonight's attendees and awardees, let's honor the legacy that we wish to leave behind for our own families. Each of you holds within yourself a power to make a difference for this collective force of good I speak about, whether through your wealth or your advocacy or your contributions and volunteering with AMCF. We need to build and continue to build a thriving and united community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our work, guide our intentions always with purity, and make this gathering a turning point for the future of Muslim philanthropy. Thank you for your presence, your support, and your unwavering dedication. Thank you to Muhi and the team and for everyone for being here. Jazakallah khair on behalf of the board. Thank you so very much, Muhi.
Thank you, Amna. Really grateful to have your support. And as I mentioned, I wanted to share more about AMCF and who is on our team. So we just heard from Amna Khan Mirza on our board. We also have our board president, Omar Hassan, that I want to recognize, Dalia El Toumi, our vice president, Farid Faruqi, our treasurer, Nawal Ali, our secretary, and Nabil Rahman. And you can see the list of advisory committee members, and just a shout out to our staff who do so much every single day. I really appreciate you, and everything that AMCF has accomplished is due to the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and your generosity with your time and commitment to AMCF. So thank you to all of the staff members and to everybody attending today. So our vision is to lead sustainable and strategic Muslim philanthropy for today and future generations. Our mission is to cultivate donor giving and diversify funding to advance charitable causes. And we do this through the core values of being sacred, strategic, sustainable, collaborative, diverse, inclusive, and with integrity. So a few of our different programs, if you're not aware, AMCF has a podcast called the Muslim Philanthropy Podcast. We bring on different nonprofits. So if you're representing a nonprofit today, definitely find out how you can be on our podcast by reaching out to our staff. We have a social impact accelerator where you can review different professional development webinars asynchronously. We also have a professional development fund for if your nonprofit can't afford to do a training and things like that. We try to make that accessible. We can offer one-on-one webinars and consulting. The Philanthropy Awards, that's why we're here today. And we also have the Muslim philanthropic values, which are a tool set for you to have discussions with your family about what inspires your generosity. Our core services are donor advised funds and giving circles on the donor side, and on the nonprofit side, endowments and leadership development. So again, you can find out a lot about these services on our website, and we encourage you to go there. And we have our donor manager, director of donor management, Nora Moorfield, who you'll hear from later today, and also our director of nonprofits, Ola Muhammad, who you can reach out to at any time to learn more about these services. And for the giving circles, we'll be hearing from Lisa Kaler, our Giving Circle fellow, later today, because the American Muslim Women's Giving Circle is going to be announcing 3 charities that will be recipients of about $15,000, alhamdulillah. So in regards to the endowments, here are over 20 partners that we host their endowments. So just giving a shout out to them for partnering with AMCF and entrusting us as their investment advisor for their nonprofits. So whether you are a institution that's been around for a long time or you're just starting out, AMCF can help you set up an endowment, and we'd be honored to work with you on that. So I want to transition into what AMCF has been able to help with in the last year, just to give you some context about what AMCF is doing in the community. Last year, you may recall that the Maui wildfires went through Hawaii, and in partnership with Muslim Arc, AMCF raised about $54,000 that we distributed to 10 different charities. And we wanted to let the community there know that the Muslim community wanted to support them. So we're giving to different institutions, not just Muslim-led charities, and giving through an institution like American Muslim Community Foundation showcases to the broader community that we're supporting that we care about the work that they're doing. Alhamdulillah, we've been able to expand our operations and bring on more staff. A few months ago, we completed our strategic plan and are looking forward to implementing that going forward. We launched an investment committee, which provides oversight to more than 225 funds that are managed by AMCF. Our collaborative fund for Palestine has distributed over $750,000. Just a few examples of who that has gone to. We'll get into that a little bit later. But through this collaborative fund for Palestine, AMCF has been able to join a network of other funders that are calling for a ceasefire consistently. Through our advocacy efforts, we also helped reinstate the UNRWA, the largest humanitarian organization operating in Palestine, on Fidelity Charitable's platform. They wrongfully removed them, and we petitioned and had hundreds of signatures come in through working with the UNRWA team to create more noise and amplify the fact that they shouldn't have been removed in the first place. We also have raised over $18,000 to support student encampments, and we're going to be distributing that and announcing that today of who has been awarded. So earlier this week, if you're unaware, there is a bill that unfortunately passed called HR 9495. We advocated against this bill, and this legislation could grant the Secretary of the Treasury the unilateral power to investigate and effectively shut down any tax-exempt organization, whether it's a news outlet, a university, civil society groups, by stripping them of their tax-exempt status and unilaterally accusing them of wrongdoing. And we know that this bill was designed with certain minority groups in mind. And they are going to, over the next 4 years, create more issues for our community, and we need to be prepared to fight against that. Additionally, in partnership with Philanthropy Together, another nonprofit organization that focuses on giving circles, we joined them in the We Give Summit to showcase the impact that collaborative funds and giving circles have. We relaunched our American Muslim Women's Giving Circle earlier this year, thanks to the work of Shazeen Mufti and Lisa Kaler. We also coordinated the National Muslim Planned Giving Council, which we're going to be hearing from Amina Saeed later today, and talking about how to effectively utilize our wills and estate plans and trusts to collaborate to give to nonprofit organizations as we're planning all of these things. So in the National Muslim Planned Giving Council, it's a consortium of certified public accountants, wealth managers, financial managers, and others who are in this space of advising people of what to do with their wealth and, more importantly, their philanthropy. So we also sponsored the Inspired Generosity exhibit, which was held in Atlanta, and over the next few years, we'll be visiting other cities. So we're really excited to showcase their work and partner with them to tell American Muslim stories of generosity. And we also focused on professional development for nonprofits. At ISNA, we held a nonprofit summit, which had over 120 professionals from across the country learning more about best practices in media engagement, marketing, fundraising, and all important critical things that our community leaders need to be trained on. And we've also been able to support Muslim philanthropy research initiatives by funding books for academic use through Indiana University's Muslim Philanthropy Initiative. And we are sharing our data with institutions like Giving USA, who talk about how Americans in 2023 gave over $450 billion to charity. But we want to solve what part Muslim impact has and how does faith inform philanthropy. So we're sharing our anonymized data with places like Giving USA, the DAF Research Collaborative, and other institutions. We've also participated and promoted DAF Day. So people who want to learn more about donor advised funds or what DAFs are, we worked with a company called Chariot who manages DAF Pay, which is a financial tool that nonprofits can embed on their donation site so that they can more effectively accept DAF payments online. So AMCF is currently being added to their platform on DAF Pay. So our DAFs can give to your nonprofits online more effectively as well. And as a grassroots institution, we are still working on building our own footprint. So alhamdulillah, we have good connections, but we need to work more effectively with communities across the country to get our message across. And I firmly believe that every American Muslim family should have a DAF, whether they partner with Schwab, Charitable, Vanguard, other institutions, but we want the community to know that they can partner with AMCF on their values-based alignment and giving with their investment strategy and their charitable giving. So we were honored to be at Harvard Islamic Finance Conference earlier this year and visiting other communities across the country. So we'd love for you to also host us in your communities as well. So we're currently focused on establishing a National Muslim Endowment Council with those 20-some organizations that have endowments with us. And even if your institution has an endowment already and wants to share best practices and open sourcing policies and investment strategies, we'd love to help you make the most impact with your endowments. We are hoping to provide support to vulnerable populations, and this is a possible thing in the future that we want to enter into the space of giving zakat to individuals through a case management system. Another thing that we are also looking into are establishing giving portfolios. So whether you have a donor advised fund or not, you can give to a giving portfolio. Maybe it's focused on education or healthcare or the arts, but you want to entrust AMCF with your giving. So we will then create a grant cycle for those giving portfolios that nonprofits who are aligned in those areas can then apply for grants from. And other efforts that we're possibly looking into as well are support for community development financial institutions, CDFI banks. They have a lot of opportunity for grants from the federal and state and local governments, and we want to see how we can support them through that. So as I wrap up, I want to just showcase the impact that we have had over the last 7 years. Alhamdulillah, we have over 200 donor advised funds. We have over 20 endowments, and we've given out $20 million to the community. And this is, again, to the grace of Allah and the barakah of our community members. They have paid it forward. They have given their zakat. They have given their sadaqah to over 800 nonprofit organizations in our network. And alhamdulillah, we have around $10 million of assets under management currently, but we know the impact of our community is so much more. So we want to see these numbers increase over the next few years, and that's where you come in as being a critical partner for AMCF. Again, our hopes and dreams are that we create thousands of DAFs. If you are listening to this and don't have a donor advised fund for yourself or for your business, please consider opening one with AMCF. If the nonprofits you work for or support do not have an endowment, please consider opening one with AMCF. We all know Ramadan is in less than 100 days, right? And the year-end campaigns, there's about 35, 40 days left in the year. And it's a perfect time to ease your giving, to ease your fundraising by embracing these strategies with AMCF as your partner, as your trusted partner. So again, back to our wonderful sponsors. I want to give a shout out to Helping Hand for Relief and Development, to Marin Community Foundation, to CAF America, Ibn Sina Foundation, the Lotto Smith Charitable Fund, and Mohsen. Again, you can check out their booths in the exhibit hall. A reminder that a portion of our proceeds will go to benefit AMCF's Collaborative Fund for Palestine. And without your support, we wouldn't be able to do this work. So I highly encourage you to scan the QR code, take a look at how you can support AMCF. So we're gonna transition into our first talk by Amina Saeed, and she's gonna be focusing on planting the seeds for your legacy. As a senior trust advisor at Northern Trust and estate planning lawyer, Amina is dedicated to helping families and small business owners protect their assets and provide for their loved ones and develop a legacy that future generations will cherish. Since 2006, Amina has been advising individuals and families regarding wills, trusts, probate, guardianship, special needs, and related matters. She also advises business owners regarding business formation, annual filings, asset protection, employee matters, HIPAA requirements, and other concerns faced by small business owners. Whether clients are deciding between a will and a trust, debating the right to person to serve as their guardian for their children, making estate tax decisions, or trying to sort through all of the information on the internet, that estate planning seems pretty overwhelming. But with a trusted advisor like Amina, she can help, and she's going to share with us how we can plant the seeds for our legacies. Amina, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Muhi. I'm going to take a quick second to share my screen. Oops. Oops. Let's see. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Can
Yep.
you see it?
Thank
Okay,
you.
great. All right. So Assalamu alaikum from Naperville, Illinois, where Imam Ubaidullah Evans, whom you will have the honor of meeting after me, gave a beautiful presentation hosted by Ta'leef Collective Chicago earlier this week at one of our many chai cafes that we've been blessed to have in our town. I think that's what we're starting to become known as, for all our chai cafes. I'm honored to be with the American Muslim Community Foundation at its annual Symposium and Muslim Philanthropy Awards event. Congratulations to all the nominees, and thank you to each and every one of you for the outstanding work that you do for the American Muslim community. Let's see. So these are perilous times in America, and everyone is impacted. First and second generation Muslims, indigenous Muslims, our children, grandchildren, and the institutions that Muslims have worked hard to build over the past 80, 90 years. The future of Islam and Muslims in America is not guaranteed. It must be nurtured, protected, and sheltered. If the worst happened tomorrow, what would happen to your family, your assets, and your legacy? What would happen to our American Muslim communities? Do you have a plan in writing to make sure your lifetime of hard work will benefit everyone whom you would want and serve as sadaqah jariyah for you? Have you taken steps to protect your legacy? A community is only as healthy as its members. Alhamdulillah, currently we have several healthy, wealthy, vibrant American Muslim communities across the country. For them to remain successful, not just now, but 50 years from now, 100 years from now, the next generation of its members must also be successful. The American Muslim Community Foundation is invested in your family's success and future. For that reason, AMCF encourages you to complete your fard obligation to have a plan for everything you own and everyone you love. We want your family to be taken care of if something happens to you, because without your family's participation, our American Muslim communities across the country will suffer. It's also in all of our communities' interest to make sure all of our members maximize their tax savings as much as possible, because we'd rather see people donate more to American Muslim organizations than to Uncle Sam. For that reason, today we're sharing some basic information about estate planning with you so you understand the importance of fulfilling this obligation. First of all, if you want your property distributed in accordance with Islamic law, you must take steps proactively now while you're alert and healthy to draft a power of attorney documents, a will, and perhaps one or more trusts. If you don't have a will or a trust, then the law of intestacy will apply at your death, and your property will be distributed the way the state decides, the state where you reside, not the way you might want. It's important to work with an attorney who understands all aspects of Islamic inheritance law. I review a lot of wills and trusts drafted by attorneys who are not trained in the Islamic law of inheritance. They don't know enough to get it right. This important religious obligation will have lasting impact on all future generations of your family and your community. So don't leave it up to chance. Each family situation needs to be specifically addressed. There are different ways estate planning can be done. Wills and trusts are the most common methods, especially if you are a Muslim and you want your assets to be distributed in accordance with Islamic law. Trust should be the preferred method for most people. But it's important that you meet with an attorney to discuss your specific situation. I'm going to focus on a few highlights of estate planning today. We don't have enough time to address everything, and that's why I'm stressing that it's important to meet with an attorney to understand what's important in your situation. So first, let's talk about the very basic issue of guardianship. If you have young children, What happens if you and your spouse are in a car accident? Who's going to take care of your children? Who's going to be there to give them a hug, a shoulder to cry on? Who's going to feed them? Have you taken steps to name a guardian? Because if you haven't done that, a judge will, and it might not be the person whom you or your children want as guardian. What if you have more than one child? Is it important to you that your children be raised together in one home? Is it important to you that they be raised as practicing Muslims? Are these things in writing? They need to be. Another aspect of protecting children that is often overlooked in an estate plan is protecting their Islamic identity. What about the children's Islamic education? As part of your estate plan, you can set aside funds to make sure your children will be strong in their iman and taqwa by allocating money for religious education. You can also do this for other Muslim children by creating a donor advised fund through the American Muslim Community Foundation or another organization of your choice, which can then distribute funds for the education of future generations to multiple organizations of your choosing, maybe in your local community as well as nationwide. You can plant the seeds for a vibrant community that will be there to surround your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren to make sure they maintain and grow their Islamic heritage. All right, I'm going to shift gears now to healthcare directives. What happens if you're hospitalized and you're too sick to make your own healthcare decisions? If you have not specified who can make healthcare decisions for you and there's any confusion or disagreement between your family members, a judge could end up appointing a guardian to make healthcare decisions on your behalf. It might not be the person whom you want. On top of that, the guardianship court proceeding can eat up a lot of critical time while someone is sick and moments count. It becomes a public matter and there are a lot of expenses. A common scenario that many families face is what to do when there's a disagreement about life support. What happens if you end up on life support? Would you want your family to keep you on life support only if there's a reasonable chance of recovery or for as long as possible? Have you made your wishes known in writing? This is something that can tear your family apart for years, potentially even forever. Siblings disagree. I've seen it many times. Blame each other for mom or dad's death and stop speaking to each other. And just like that, the family is torn apart, and it was something that could have easily been prevented. Another issue that often comes up is about organ donation. Have you made your wishes known in writing? What if your family members disagree about whether organ donation is halal or haram? Have you had a conversation about it? For these reasons, it's important to have a healthcare power of attorney document where you name who will make healthcare decisions for you in the event that you can't make your own decisions. In that document, you also identify your wishes regarding organ donation and life support. And you can also specify who can have access to your medical records. Now, another issue to discuss is funeral planning. For most Muslims, it's extremely important to have a Muslim burial. Have you specified that in writing? What if you were to pass away far away from home? Is it more important to you to be buried in the closest Muslim cemetery as soon as possible? Or would you want your body transported back home? What if your kids all live in different states? Would you want the burial postponed by a day to give them all time to come home? If your immediate family members are not Muslim and you're concerned that some family members might refuse to respect your wishes for a Muslim funeral and burial, it's important that you specify who has the legal authority to handle your funeral and burial. If you don't, the state will default to the next of kin to make decisions. And while we're on the topic, do you know that dying is not cheap? Have you set aside funds to pay for your funeral and burial in case it happens unexpectedly and your family doesn't have liquid assets to pay? Will your family have access to that money? I had a case a few years ago where a man passed away with 6 bank accounts. He had plenty of money, but no one could access it without a death certificate. And well, the family couldn't get a death certificate until they paid the funeral home. It becomes a chicken and egg problem. His body sat in the funeral home for 2 weeks while the family figured it out. So it's important to address this. Also, another thing to note about funeral payment is that if there's no money to pay for a burial, the state will arrange it. With cremation being the cheaper alternative, it's noteworthy that many local governments are now opting for cremation as the default option rather than burial for anyone who dies without funds or family to pay. So perhaps you want to consider having an option for your local community to pay for burials for indigent people and set up a donor advised fund for that purpose. Or make sure that there's some pool of funds to make sure that the state will not be cremating the body and it will receive a proper Muslim burial. So these are all reasons why funeral planning needs to be part of an overall estate plan. Now, if you get sick, do you have a plan for who will take care of your financial affairs? Who's going to pay the bills? Make sure the kids' needs are met, taxes are paid, utilities are paid, and all the other things that you take care of right now. The legal guardianship process is what would happen if you don't have a power of attorney in place. And it can be easily avoided with a properly executed durable power of attorney for finances. The person you name as your agent can take care of banking, mortgage payments, safety deposit box access, insurance and benefits paperwork, taxes, management of a business even. They can also make sure your assets are made available to take care of your spouse and children if you are too sick to manage those responsibilities. The key thing is this must be done long before you get sick. Once there is an illness that impacts mental health, it's illegal to execute a power of attorney document. It's a simple solution that many people unfortunately overlook. Now, I'm going to focus on the death probate process next. In Illinois, if you have probate assets worth over $100,000, a family may have to go through the court process when their loved one dies. Every state has its own threshold amount, but most range somewhere between $50,000 and $150,000. That means money gets tied up, there are delays and additional expenses. Most importantly, for Muslims who want their property distributed in accordance with Sharia requirements for inheritance, the probate process is not the best way to go about it. A judge is in control, and unfortunately, given the political climate in recent years as well as ahead, if someone objects to the application of Islamic law in a U.S. court, that can cause a lot of problems. All of that can be avoided with a revocable trust that you set up now. It's a complete substitute for a last will and testament. It's a private document that specifies your wishes and avoids all court involvement. It can include divorce protection and asset protection for your children, two key ways that you can protect their future now. Let's see. Another common estate planning mistake is to ignore the issue of taxes. This can include estate tax, which is a tax paid at death if your assets are over a certain amount, gift taxes, income taxes, and capital gains taxes. There are many strategies we can use through advanced planning, such as donor advised funds and charitable trusts, to minimize one or more types of taxes. However, the key thing to remember is that you have to proactively do tax planning. You have to do it in the here and now when you're healthy. If you don't do it before you pass away, taxes usually have to be paid before any inheritance is paid to loved ones. That can be very costly depending on your circumstances. But with proper planning, that's money you can leave to nonprofits you're passionate about or leave more to your family. Why would you want it to go to the IRS when you can control who receives the money? Now, what about digital assets? Think for a moment about your email inbox. How many important things are stored there? Would your family know to check it to find out about upcoming bills if you passed away suddenly? Whom would you want to have access to it? Is there anyone who should not have access to it? You know, it used to be that when someone died, the family checked their snail mail box for a few weeks, and that's how you tied up a deceased person's affairs. It's just not that simple anymore in the digital age. What would happen to your social media accounts, email, iTunes, Kindle, Audible, online banking access, and documents stored in the cloud? What about monthly subscription services like Amazon Subscribe and Save? What about your credit card rewards points, airline miles? How wide is your digital footprint? If you had your will, your trust, or your power of attorney drafted over 6 years ago, I recommend that you check it to see if it includes provisions for digital assets. If it doesn't, you need to have it updated. And by the way, where do you store your passwords? Or where do your parents store your passwords, I should ask? Anyone here have parents who have them written down on a sheet of paper that's tucked away at the bottom of the third drawer of their desk under some papers? If you do, when you see them on Thanksgiving this week, please change that. Make sure someone knows where to find them in case something happens. And let me ask, and lastly, that to me, this is the most important aspect of estate planning. I saved it for the end. Let me ask, what's the biggest investment you have ever made in your life? For many of you, it's probably the time, energy, love, commitment you made in building your family. My mission is to introduce you to a more holistic view of family wealth, something more than just what will happen to all your money when you die. Let's take a closer look at what our true wealth is all about. Imagine we can break it down into 4 major categories. The first category is financial. This is what most people think about when the topic of estate planning comes up. These are our assets or material wealth. But what about the other categories? What about core values? This is really the foundation we've built our lives on, our family, our health, our talents, backgrounds, attitudes. Does your estate plan have anything to pass on your core values to your grandchildren? Or will they be lost after your children? Will your grandchildren even know about your rich Middle Eastern or Asian heritage? What about your social, religious values? What about your great-grandchildren? Will they know? Is this important to you? That they learn their roots? Do you have a family tree done for them? Next is wisdom. This is the sum total of our life experiences, including our formal and informal education, our relationships, our work ethic, and our commitment to spiritual beliefs or practices. Do you have a way to pass on all the wisdom you have acquired over the years? Community. This is our contribution to society, our responsibilities as good citizens and neighbors. Volunteer work at a food pantry or a homeless shelter, maybe as a Sunday school teacher or a youth organizer, and on and on. This can include both financial charitable gifts as well as volunteer work. Is there a way to pass on the rich experiences that you have learned? Have you found ways to communicate that to the next generation that they can benefit from? All of these things will be part of your legacy when you're gone. These are the seeds you are planting for your legacy. What are you doing now to make sure your legacy will be the best it can be and will serve as sadaqah jariyah for you for eternity? As a Muslim, Allah grants you the free will to leave up to 1/3 of your property to whomever you wish at death, including the nonprofits that play such an integral role in your family's identity. Perhaps you don't know this, but the largest gifts left to charitable institutions are left as bequests in wills and trusts, meaning the organization is identified as a beneficiary in your will or your trust. And every Muslim has the capacity to do this through estate planning. You are part of the American Muslim community. Perhaps your children have benefited from your local masjid's youth programs or Sunday school. What about your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren? For us to have peace of mind that Islam will continue to shine in America, we each have to do our part. Estate planning and charitable planning are intertwined. When you do your estate plan, you take care of your family and your community organizations. When the families that make up the community prosper, the community and its nonprofits, the masajid, the schools, and other organizations prosper and grow. That is how we grow our legacy from seeds to trees that will provide shade and fruit for others. Thank you.
Jazakallah khairan, Amina. Thank you so much for all of the fantastic gems that I've seen in the chat. So many people are appreciating everything. So I highly encourage, even if you live outside of Illinois, to still set some time with Amina or find a local estate planning lawyer who can help you with your estate plans. I want to bring on a dear friend, Ubaidullah Evans, who is going to now share on the spiritual side of planting the seeds for your legacy. So thank you so much for being here. Ubaidullah Evans is Alam's first scholar in residence. He converted to Islam while in high school. Upon conversion, Ubaid began studying some of the foundational books of Islam under private tutelage of local scholars. Since then, he has studied at Chicagoland's Institute of Islamic Education. He's also been to Tarim, Yemen, Al-Azhar University, where he was actually the first African-American graduate from its Sharia program. Ubaid also instructs with the Tatlif Collective and the Inner City Muslim Action Network. Thank you so much for being here.
MashaAllah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It is unquestionably a great honor and a great privilege to speak with such a beautiful group about such a pertinent and germane topic. I want to start by saying I thought Sister Amina delivered a very powerful presentation. And she started by saying that these might be perilous times for Muslims. And I absolutely second that perspective. However, I would remind you that persecution is not the worst thing for religious communities. In fact, persecution can heighten one's identification with their faith. The worst thing for religious communities is apathy born of irrelevance. And when we spend time talking about things that are only secondarily or tertiarily relevant to us, we injure our commitment to Islam. We injure our religious community. But talking about a topic like planting seeds, building a legacy, we are going straight to the core of where we are right now. The Prophet ﷺ said in a rigorously authenticated hadith that if one of you was holding a sapling, if one of you was holding a sapling, and it were announced to him or her that the day of judgment was going to be tomorrow, that would mean this tree would never bear fruit, this tree would never presumably provide shade. You should still plant the sapling. You should still plant the tree, because the disposition of the Muslim is one of hope. It is one of very intentional planning for the future. Even if from a worldly perspective, that hope appears to be frustrated by a real world assessment, it's still a part of who we are. It's a part of what we believe. Muslim communities historically have always gave to awqaf or endowments. People have always dedicated a part of their wealth, a part of their inheritance, a part of their legacy to supporting organizations, issues, and causes that benefit the Muslims collectively. On something of a somber note, my wife, my first wife, Allah yarhamuha, may Allah have mercy on her, she died while I was a third-year student at Azhar. And I found so much home in that woman that it was only after her death that Egypt began to feel like a foreign country. And I was trying to get through the business of preparing for her funeral in a foreign country, navigating all of this documentation, navigating all of these processes in the Arabic language, of which I was a fluent speaker, but it was still very cumbersome and difficult. Someone came to me and said, there is an endowment, a plot of land in a cemetery called El Wafa wal Amal that has been given to the students of Azhar and their families. And this endowment was given about 900 years ago. And that right now is where she's buried. That somebody was thinking about religious students who tend to be indigent, who tend to be poor. Someone was considering us, and someone was considering our families, so that she had a place to be buried there among the Azahira, among the students and teachers of Azhar. It blew me away. It made me think about this phenomenal commitment that we've shown to endowments throughout our history. You know, once I was giving a talk at, now, a lot of the endowments at Azhar have been naturalized. It's been a kind of meme. The state has taken control of those endowments, but some of them still exist, right? And I think it's important to highlight that. But I was giving a talk at a medical school here in Chicago, and I forget what I spoke about. It wasn't a great talk, you know. When you, not all of them are phenomenal, you know. And I sat down with some of the administrators, you know, from the school, folks that worked in some different offices, and I was seated next to this middle-aged white woman who worked in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And we were having a regular exchange, except that when she said anything, she would mention as a preamble, as a middle class, able-bodied, heteronormative, cisgender, white woman who understands her privilege. I just want to say, we've been having lovely weather. You know, I was just like, subhanallah, you know, I didn't, you know, and, you know, I would respond to her, well, as a middle-class Black man, if my check comes on time this month, I think the chicken penne is amazing, or something like this. Now, thinking back on this exchange, she was really attempting to be conscientious about privilege, that she recognized that even her ability to say we're having nice weather was contingent upon all of these contingencies, all of these other realities that gave her the ability to see that. And when I think about it now, it's actually quite impressive. It did make conversation a little cumbersome. Although I didn't have the presence of mind at the time, if I had, I would have cited for her the verse of the Quran in which God says, هُوَ الَّذِي رَفَعَ بَعْدَكُمْ فَوْقَ بَعْدٍ دَرَجَاتٍ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ فِي مَا آتَاكُمْ. It is God who raised some of you above others in rank to test you in what he has given you. Privilege is not bad. I know that, you know, many people now talk about privilege as though it's some kind of indictment. Privilege is not an indictment. We don't believe that privilege can be disavowed with language games, nor can privilege be, one is not disabused of privilege simply by acknowledging that they have it. We believe that privilege should be moralized. Privilege must be moralized, and privilege is a test. So those that have been given more wealth than their necessities consume, those that have been given what some people, I don't like this term, refer to as disposable wealth, they have to recognize that yours is an immense test. How will you prepare things for your family? How will you contribute to causes in your community for which you feel passionately? How will you set up the Muslim community for this next phase of our maturity? You know, many people, and I know that this is a very difficult time for us. We're witnessing civil wars, genocides. We just saw the American electorate elect a candidate that we don't think will be very favorable for us and causes close to us. I recognize all of that, but we are still dealing with what some demographers call a first effective settlement. That the way the Muslim community looks now, demographically, is probably the way it's going to look for the foreseeable future. And the norms that we establish now, whether we are talking cultural norms, religious norms, but also social and financial norms, the norms that we establish now are going to be the norms for our community going forward. To establish a precedent of responsibility, and not only responsibility, but being a person of deep foresight with your wealth, thinking about ways of making this process, this transition of your demise, which is inevitable. All of us will pass. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every soul shall taste death. And trying, as the Prophet ﷺ commanded of you, to make that transition easier for your family. This is why those ayat about mirath, inheritance, are there. This is why the Prophet ﷺ said to the Muslim, you should not sleep for 3 days without your wasiyah, without your will underneath your pillow. Right? All of these are statements from the Prophet ﷺ because he recognizes that internal and intramural difference, rivalry, conflict over in vivo transfers of wealth, this is something that destroys families. This is something that destroys communities. So the Prophet ﷺ has gone out of his way, and the Quran has made very explicit how those things should be handled in the personal life of a believer. But in addition to setting up your family, in addition to making sure your wealth can be distributed according to the Sharia, thinking about how you can systematically, how you can strategically use what God has given you for a sadaqah jariyah. This is to recognize that you've been put in that position. You know, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Al-yadul ulya khayrun min al-yad as-sufla." The upper hand, meaning the hand that gives, is better than the hand that takes. And you know, I would talk with people about this, and I would remind them that my grandmother would tell me, whenever someone is asking you for something, the first thing you have to recognize is the blessing that you're on the end of the one, you're the one being asked and not the one asking. Right? You know, tilka al-ayamu nudawiluha bayna an-nas, the vicissitudes of life, being up and being down, the wheel of fortune. Every spoke on the wheel gets its turn at the top. If you are someone with whom we're speaking this afternoon, saying Allah has blessed you, Allah has favored you, you are in a privileged position, you are in a fortuitous position. Part of your responsibility is to move the community forward, to think about this sadaqah jariyah, this act of charity that can continue giving to you even after you've passed. The Prophet ﷺ said that when the human being dies, all of her deeds come to an end. There is no more reciting of the Quran. You won't get to do that anymore. There is no more making salah. You won't get to do that anymore. There is no more making hajj or umrah. You won't get to do that anymore. But the sadaqah jariyah, the charity that gives continually, this will be there to fill your account with good deeds, to fill your grave with nur, to fill your grave with light. So those of us thinking about this, considering this, thinking about how we can be more systematic, more strategic, how we can do this in a cleaner fashion, how we can streamline this process. I just want to commend Muhi. I want to commend the entire team. I want to encourage people to reach out to Sister Amina Saeed, who is in the wonderfully populated with coffee houses town of Naperville. MashaAllah. Reach out to people like this so that they can help you with this very important aspect of your religious commitment. It is a privilege that you are in a position to do so. Avail yourself of this opportunity and do what pleases Allah and do what was commanded by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakumullahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you so much, Ubaid, for the wise words and the reminders, and I really appreciate everything that you have shared. A lot of great conversation in the chat as well, so I highly encourage those to continue. And absolutely, we all need to prioritize this and take action. And I think that is the main thing of what we can do next. A kind reminder, just want to again showcase our sponsors. On the VFairs platform, go check out their booths. We've got Engage, APIP, Imana, Neurological Partners, Khalid Al Goueli Fund, New Breath Foundation, and the Tabani Family Foundation as well. We have Zaytuna College, JP Morgan Chase, Stearns Bank, Islamic Center of Detroit, the Islamic Scholarship Fund, the Syrian Community Network, and a continuous charity as well. Kind reminder that a portion of our proceeds will be benefiting AMCF's Collaborative Fund for Palestine. We will go into more about that as we announce the winners from that grant. And a kind reminder, I just want to give a shout out to Joanna Usman and Abdullah Sayed for already making their gifts today. And I saw those emails come in, so thank you so much. Quick second, just going to leave it here so that you can scan this QR code, go to our website, and make a contribution to continue to support our work. I'm going to be introducing our Collaborative Fund for Palestine next. So just want to let you all know about the great work that we have done, and then I'll pass it over to our Director of Donor Relations, Nora Moorfield, to announce the winners as well. So right now, in this work, again, we have distributed over $750,000 to organizations helping with advocacy and relief efforts. We've given funds to Jewish Voice for Peace, the Unity Lab, Gaza Soup Kitchen, Heal Palestine, and dozens of organizations helping in this space. So on our website as well, you can go to amuslimcf.org/Palestine to learn more about everything that we've been doing. As I mentioned, we worked with UNRWA to get reinstated on Fidelity Charitable's platform. We've been participating in the Funders for Ceasefires call to action. We've written op-eds calling on mainstream philanthropy to support Palestine, and we have advocated against HR 9495, which unfortunately just passed, and will continue to test our community until that is repealed. I'm going to now pass it over to Nora Moorfield to walk us through the nominees for the Collaborative Fund for Palestine. And we did a student encampment support launch good campaign earlier this year and raised $18,000. So she's going to walk through the nominees and announce the awardees.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Mohi, I appreciate the introduction. I wanted to start by thanking everyone for being here with us today for the symposium. So many amazing takeaways from the speakers already, subhanAllah. It's never too late to plant the seeds. Do it anyway. So in the spring of 2024, we raised $18,000 to support students and activists for Palestinian justice in their encampments across American universities. 6 nonprofit organizations that have demonstrated their support with students and activists for Palestinian justice were nominated. A continuous charity foundation, Arab American Anti-Discrimination Committee, CARE, MSA West, Muslim Advocates, and Palestine Legal. All the nominees are doing incredibly important work supporting student activists standing up for Palestine. The selection committee was humbled by the work of all of them, and it was very difficult to narrow down the nominees to 3 finalists, but now we're honored to share that 3 selected for receiving a grant of $6,000 each to further their work in the space. The grant winners are Palestine Legal, MSA West, and A Continuous Charity. Palestine Legal's mission is to bolster the Palestine solidarity movement by challenging efforts to threaten, harass, and legally bully activists into silence and inaction. Palestine Legal actively supports student encampments and protests across the U.S., many of which face escalating repression from universities and law enforcement. The organization connects students, faculty, and staff with its network of over 1,600 attorneys for legal advice and advocacy assistance. Additionally, Palestine Legal has filed multiple Title VI civil rights complaints advocating for the rights of Palestinian students and has provided Know Your Rights workshops along with comprehensive legal assistance. A Continuous Charity Foundation, ACC's mission is to promote the spiritual and intellectual development of Muslims throughout North America by providing interest-free loans for higher education. Recently, ACC co-created a scholarship with CARE for students who need financial support as a result of their advocacy for Palestine. They awarded over $20,000 in educational grants for 22 students across the U.S. affected by their activism for Gaza and Palestine through their Champions of Justice campaign. ACC stands by those whose commitment to justice has cost them scholarships, jobs, or even university enrollment. MSA West's mission is to develop and empower Muslim student leaders to be catalysts for change on their campuses and in their communities. With many campuses in California directly affected by student activist targeting, MSA West mobilized quickly and impactfully since last spring to support students on multiple fronts, including trainings, legal assistance, and more. Thank you to the finalists and all the nominees for your unwavering advocacy and work, helping protect, support, and empower student activists standing up for justice. Congratulations. Now passing it off to Lisa to share more about the American Muslim Women's Giving Circle.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. My name is Lisa Kayla. I work with the American Muslim Women's Giving Circle. Happy to join you here today. We are excited. This year we were able to collect $15,000 from our members across the country. Thank you to your support. We have an amazing team of our leadership circle. I'd like to publicly announce we have Agnes Chong, Madiha Patel, Valeria Trevino, and Zahra Bukhari Hassan. Several of them are here on the meeting today, so yay, yay team. And thank you again to all of our members. We have close to 100 members and about 25 voting members. Voting members contribute, any member, you can become a member with any amount, $5 or more, and voting member, if you contribute $35 a month or $420 a year, you become a voting member, and you can help choose our nominees. Our members can help nominate any nominee. This year we had 12 amazing nominees, nonprofits from across the country that support and are led by American Muslim women. And our nominees had, here they are, Afghan Literacy Foundation, ALF, Build Palestine, Developments in Literacy, Isona Relief Fund, Hawa Media Collective, Islamic Schools League of America. Oh, back one. The Muslim League of America, Muslim Women Professionals, National Council of Nigerian Muslim Organizations, USA, Olive Community Services, Pillars of Peace, Project Anar. Again, many of whom are on the call today. So big shout out to the amazing work that you're doing for the community. And then our voting members had the really tough job of determining which 3 would be our 3 grantees. So last weekend we had our decision day. Our finalists were able to join and do a little pitch about the organization. And the voting members this week had to vote. So our grantees for this year's 2024 Giving Circle, based on the votes from our voting members, are, drumroll, Pillars of Peace, congratulations, 3rd place. They will receive a $3,000 in grants before the end of December. I believe they have the representative on the call, so huge shout out to your team. The next group is all of community services. Second place, $4,500. And again, their team is also on the call, so a huge shout out to them and their work. And again, all these organizations, you can go on the website, American Muslim Giving Circle, and read more about the nominees. And our first place winner was the Muslim Legal Fund of America. So $7,500, and a huge shout out, mashallah, to all of our nominees, all the great American Muslim organizations doing work in the country to support American Muslim women, led by American Muslim women, and serving the needs of American Muslim women, as well as women of all denominations. So huge congratulations. You want to learn more? I know several of you have reached out already in the chat, and this virtual platform is really cool. So you want to learn more about what we do and how we help serve and educate and amplify the voices of American Muslim women, please scan the QR code, send us an email. We'd be happy to have a chat to explain what we're doing and how we really are working to amplify the voices of American Muslim women who are amazing, mashallah. So thank you so much. And thank you to our nominees and our grantees. I really appreciate all the work you're doing. So jazakallah khairan.
Of course. And special shout out to Lisa. She has been a force in corralling so many good people across the country to join this American Muslim Women's Giving Circle. So if this is your first time hearing about it, or now you see the impact of what a few can do to support all of these institutions in a big way, I highly encourage you to join the American Muslim Women's Giving Circle and become a member for 2025, inshallah. So again, we couldn't do this without the support of our sponsors. I want to give a shout out to Muppies, the Afzal Family Foundation, Diyanat Silicon Valley, MPAC, Rabata, the Hashim Murad Fund, the Muslim Philanthropy Initiative at the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy at Indiana University, Indianapolis, Amana Mutual Funds Trust, and Halal Fest. Reminder, we will be continuing to support not only those who were awarded today, but so many brilliant causes that are uplifting the work being done in Palestine for relief efforts and advocacy efforts here in the United States. So please do visit our site, muslimcf.org/Palestine, to learn more about what we are doing with the Collaborative Fund for Palestine. You can make a restricted gift on that site, and it will only be used for the Collaborative Fund for Palestine. But even if you give to AMCF today, we will also be giving a portion of proceeds to support that effort. So again, thank you to our generous supporters. We can't do this work without you. So when you support AMCF, you're supporting Muslim philanthropy for today and future generations, a long-term impact, and a gift to AMCF empowers our donor and nonprofit ecosystem that we support. So I'll leave this up here just one more second so that you can scan the QR code, and inshallah, we will be transitioning into the Muslim Philanthropy Awards now. This is just such a fun experience to see all of the nominations that come in year over year. Alhamdulillah, we had over 50 nominees in a variety of categories. So I'm going to do my best in the next half hour to not only end on time, but do justice to all of the nominees and award winners. So if we go a little over, bear with me, but I'm going to do my best to get through all of this efficiently. Bismillah. One of my favorite categories, the youth, ages 5 to 12. Past recipients have been Tala Tahir in 2023, Ayan Raza in 2021, and Zohaib Beg in 2020. This year, in this category, we were grateful to receive a nomination for Medina Montessori and their Muffin Monday initiative, which every Monday, a team of students is in charge of making, selling, and managing the proceeds of baked goods in front of the school. And after the sale, 1/3 is given to charity. and they've given to food banks and scholarship funds. 1/3 is put into the savings for the future school, and 1/3 is for their current needs. Through this act of volunteering and selling, these students learn more and have gained an immense confidence in many areas around communication skills, handling and managing money, and giving back to the community. So they've supported a local food bank in Maryland, Gaza Relief, and the School Scholarship Fund, and others. So this year we are so honored to award Medina Montessori for the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy for ages 5 to 12. Congratulations to you and your team. Next up, we have the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy, ages 13 to 21. In the past, we have awarded the Teen Ummah Giving Circle, Serene Salam, and Sania Vashist. This year, we have several nominees. Rabia's leadership in Junior Civitans exemplifies youth philanthropy at its finest, organizing impactful initiatives like a $10,000 food drive for food insecure families with Alameda County Food Bank. She's recognized as an unhung hero by Assemblymember Alex Lee, and her dedication and ability to inspire others showcase profound impact of compassionate community-focused service. Next up, we have Ayan Raza, who previously won in the previous category. Ayan exemplifies the spirit of selfless giving through his impactful work supporting local and global causes. Since the 3rd grade, Ayan has led numerous fundraisers, raising over $100,000 for disaster relief, education, and special needs programs across the United States, India, Turkey, Afghanistan, and more. Notable initiatives include funding oxygen concentrators for marginalized communities in India, disaster response campaigns for hurricanes and wildfires and floods, and educational programs for underserved youth globally. Ayan's leadership extends to teaching summer classes, rallying peers, and building libraries in Africa. What were all of us doing when we were this old, right? MashaAllah. Ayan's unwavering commitment to service continues to inspire change worldwide. He's previously been recognized by AMCF for his commendable efforts. So Amani Shahzad is a trailblazing youth leader whose compassion inspires action. At just 14, she founded a club dedicated to raising awareness and for children with terminal cancer, collecting over $18,500 to make a benefit for that. And in its first year, giving support to pediatric cancer research. Amani has not only brought smiles to children facing terminal illness, but also demonstrated the universal values of care and support rooted in Islam, fostering understanding and inspiring others to follow her example. Next up, we have Wellness on Wheels, which is a youth-led initiative addressing food insecurity and healthcare education and migrant family support through innovative community-driven solutions. Led by 4 young women, WOW's Community Garden Project provides fresh produce year-round to families in need, supported by 24/7 outdoor fridge for discreet access. Their Harvesting for Health program teaches underserved teens and gardening nutrition skills, while free health workshops empower families to manage chronic conditions, while also supports migrant families and essentials and promotes social wellness through anti-bullying workshops. Recognized with the Gold Presidential Award for Volunteer Hours, WOW exemplifies the power of youth leadership in fostering empathy, resilience, and sustainable change. Next up, we have Rihanna Williams, who is a co-founder of Kanafa Queens, which embodies the fusion of activism, culture, and entrepreneurship. Her vision transformed her mother's kanafa recipe into a thriving business that supports Southern California's Muslim community while uplifting grassroots efforts across the country. Rihanna has generously donated desserts to fundraisers for causes like Black Lives Matter, Gaza Relief, Islah LA, the Sahaba Initiative, reflecting her unwavering commitment to justice and community care. As a Black Palestinian organizer, she balances her role as a young student leader with volunteer work for MASS and the Institute of Knowledge, earning widespread admiration for dedication in the Inland Empire. So again, many fantastic qualified nominees, and it's always hard to choose one. So this year, congratulations to Rihanna Williams for her work in the community. Next up, we are going to focus on the outstanding young professional. In the past, we've awarded Hamna Khuld, Muhammad Raza, and Roeda Abdulaziz. This year, we have Mariam Nasir as a nominee. She's a dedicated volunteer at Salam Food Pantry from a young age, leading impactful fundraising campaigns during Ramadan and Thanksgiving that consistently meet or exceed her $25,000 target. At just 18, she mentors young volunteers, recruits donors from businesses and private citizens, and manages critical operations, including creating process documents and running food programs in Alameda County's Tri-City area. Now a first-year business student at San Jose State University, she applies her growing expertise in supply chain management to enhance pantry operations. AMCF's recognition would inspire Mariam and so many others and taking on great challenges in their community. Next up, we have Bilal Walker, who is a visionary leader whose work in urban agriculture, youth empowerment, and community wellness exemplifies the principles of Islamic philanthropy. As CEO of Al Munir, he has transformed vacant lots in New Jersey into thriving urban farms like Jannah on Grafton in Newark and Eden's Farms, which produce fresh produce, address food insecurity, and serve as educational hubs for youth apprenticeship programs. Bilal's mentorship initiatives equip young men of color with practical skills, fostering entrepreneurship, environmental stewardship, and community pride. His leadership extends to impactful collaborations such as Healthy Corner Store Initiative and cultural programs like farm-to-table events and music therapy workshops. Beyond Newark, Bilal's advocacy for food justice and sustainable agriculture inspires similar initiatives nationwide, and his financial contributions exceed $50,000 annually, funding scholarships, food justice programs, and cultural preservation efforts. Bilal's commitment to Sadaqah Jariyah and Islamic values positions him as a transformative force in community upliftment and deserving recipient of the AMCF Outstanding Young Fundraising Professional Award. And this year, we are excited to congratulate Bilal Walker on the Outstanding Young Professional Award. Hype everybody up in the comments. Great to see all of the fantastic work our community is doing. Next up in the category of Outstanding Board Member, another contested field of nominees. We have so many fantastic board members across the country doing so much great work, and it is necessary to have these volunteers recognized. In the past, we awarded Safiya Salam and Narmeen Ramjan. This year, we have Sister Haqiqa, who has been a vital part of Olive Community Services, joining as a participant in 2020, showcasing extraordinary dedication to empowering seniors and advancing the organization's mission. From leading the creation of the Olive Delights cookbook featuring 101 multicultural recipes to chairing the resource guide committee, she has played a pivotal role in providing essential resources to the community. As a board member, she has spearheaded projects like the Olive Rack Thrift Store, where she commuted 2 hours daily to organize and beautify the boutique with her hand-sewn drapes. Her commitment extends to facilitating workshops on emergency preparedness, sewing reusable tablecloths for Grandparents' Day, and serving as Olive's representative at the North Orange County Senior Collaborative. Sister Haqiqa has inspired generational youth through storytelling sessions on resilience and the civil rights movement. Her passion and unwavering dedication continue to inspire seniors, volunteers, and the broader community, making her an invaluable asset to Olive. Next up, we have Bisan Abujude from Build Palestine, who she is the co-founder and chair. Build Palestine is a nonprofit focused on empowering Palestinian changemakers and mobilizing a global community for impact. Since its founding in 2016, Bisan has been a driving force behind the organization's success, leading initiatives such as the Social Entrepreneur Boot Camps, global summits on social innovation, and Under the Olive Tree, a global community initiative. Through her leadership, she has grown from an idea to a well-established staff-run organization based in the West Bank, providing long-term support to Palestinian social entrepreneurs through crowdfunding. Bisan has strategically built the organization to have a global reach, has a fiscal sponsor and a diverse board from the United States, through Europe and the Middle East, and supporters from around the world. Her commitment to fostering solidarity, innovation, and liberation through social entrepreneurship has made Build Palestine a beacon for both Palestinian empowerment and broader human rights causes. Bisan's exceptional leadership, strategic vision, and ability to connect people and ideas makes her an outstanding candidate for this award. Next up, we have Azhar Aziz, who has made an extraordinary impact on the Muslim community through over 23 years of dedicated service to ISNA, holding leadership roles such as vice president, president, and treasurer. Many of you may know Azhar for his work in the community outside of his board service, fundraising for so many great causes. He has organized over 24 regional conferences, spoken at over 800 mosques across North America, and advocated for the Muslim community with 3 US presidents. Azhar's tireless efforts in fundraising during Iftars and Ramadan events, along with his leadership in empowering youth and fostering community engagement, have strengthened ISNA and its programs. His unwavering commitment to service and his ability to inspire others make him an exemplary candidate for this award. Next up, we have Seema Badr, who has been invaluable asset to the Muslim Community Center, and she is also the mother of the previous nominee that we just heard about in the 13 to 21 outstanding youth. So the leadership and demonstration in this family runs strong, and their service to the community. As a proactive board member, she has played a key role in fundraising efforts, co-creating the high school youth community to engage teens, and regularly updating donors to foster transparency and trust. Seema's leadership extends beyond MCC with notable contributions to local schools, the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee, and for advocacy for Muslim issues. Her strategic approach to community building and her tireless work in education, civic engagement, and advocacy make her a standout leader. Next up, we have Hazel Gomez, a board chairwoman at Rabata, and is a dedicated leader with a deep commitment to community development, women's empowerment, and social justice. With experience as a community organizer at Faith in Action, a member of the Muslim Anti-Racism Collaborative, she tirelessly advocates for equity and inclusion. Hazel's leadership at Rabata has been pivotal in expanding the organization's educational offerings and support women's for Muslim worldwide. A Puerto Rican and Mexican Muslim convert, Hazel combines her passion for Islamic studies with her professional expertise, including studies at Al-Azhar University and the Ribat Academic Institute. Her work as a mentor, social justice trainer, and advocate for the Latino Muslim experience further showcases her remarkable impact. Next up, we have Farhana Islam, who is a dedicated advocate for the Muslim community in Long Island, particularly through her efforts to secure recognition of Eid holidays across various towns. As a passionate volunteer, she champions progressive issues locally, nationally, and internationally, including pushing a Muslim agenda along with leaders like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Jamal Bowman, as well as organizing Gaza protests. Farhana's tireless work on behalf of the Muslim community, paired with her positive attitude and commitment to her family as a mother of 3 young children, makes her an exceptional board member deserving of recognition. Next up, we have Wajiha Rizvi, and she's made an profound impact as a chair of the board Girl Forward, which demonstrates exceptional leadership, particularly during the Afghanistan evacuation crisis. She played a key role in securing the safe passage of Afghan families, providing critical and support for those resettling in the US. Beyond crisis management, Wajiha has led Girl Forward through strategic planning and executive leadership transitions, significantly strengthening the organization's financial base, raising $2.7 million and securing the first government appropriation. Her advocacy extends to pressing social issues, including raising awareness about the challenges faced by Muslim refugees and advocating for Palestinian rights, even in the face of backlash. Next up, we have Sabria Shah. As Rabata's youngest board member and secretary, Sabria brings fresh insights and dynamic leadership to the organization. She is the founder of the Nafisa Project, empowering women in Memphis, and serves as an Islamic studies teacher and FRAMES program coordinator, nurturing the next generation of leaders. Her extensive academic background and volunteer work reflect a lifelong dedication to spiritual development and Islamic education. Next up, we have Rukia Sheikh Ahmed as the operations developer at New Vision Foundation. Rukia has been instrumental in empowering minority youth and challenging minority youth with essential coding and software engineering skills, bridging the opportunity gap and paving pathways to success in the tech industry. Her dedication to social equity extends to her role on Rabata's board, where she advocates for programs that foster cultural and educational growth within the Muslim community. Rukia's commitment to STEM education, youth empowerment, and lifelong learning reflects her inspiring vision for uplifting underrepresented communities locally and globally. Lastly, we have Shamim Sayed. And since joining Olive in 2019, Shamim has been a cornerstone of the organization, contributing to programs like Live, Learn, Thrive, the Olive Rack Project, and organizing an annual Grandparents' Day event over 6 years. As Olive's facility manager, she plays a key role in renovations and continuing to ensure the office is well maintained. A passionate advocate for sustainable living, Shamim leads Go Green with Shamim workshops, inspiring others to adopt eco-friendly practices. Volunteering over 15 hours a week with her dedication, reliability, and commitment to community service makes her an invaluable member of the Olive team. Now, with all of those fantastic nominees, we are excited to congratulate Haqiqa Abdurrahim of Olive Community Services as the award winner for the outstanding board member. Congratulations. In the next category, we have outstanding volunteer fundraiser, which previously Fatima Fahsid won, Ayan Tariq, and Basama Yusuf. This year, we are excited to have Naveen Malik's dedication as a major gift officer at Rabata, which has significantly advanced the organization's mission to empower Muslim women through education and leadership. Her strategic fundraising efforts and donor relationships have ensured the sustainability and growth of programs like Ribat, which provide accessible Islamic education and leadership training globally. With a deep commitment to philanthropy, Naveen is not only leads Rabata's fundraising initiatives, but also contributes personally, exemplifying her belief in the organization's mission. Her professional expertise, personal passion, and innovative leadership make her an inspiring force for positive change within the Muslim community. And we are excited to award Naveen as the outstanding volunteer fundraiser. I want to give a shout out to the rest of the sponsors in our program. So the Philanthropy Coach, Barnes & Thornburg, Muslim Arc, Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, Philanthropy Together, American Muslim Health Professionals, Madinatul Ilm Academy, Penny Appeal, Shoulder to Shoulder, Nama Private Wealth, and Allied Muslim Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for your support of AMCF. A reminder that a portion of today's proceeds will be given to the Collaborative Fund for Palestine. And I'll pause just for a moment here as I catch my breath to have you scan this code so that you can make a financial contribution to support AMCF. All right. As we continue, we are going to move into the Outstanding Foundation or Grantmaker Award. In the past, we have provided this award to the El Hibri Foundation, Pillars Fund, and Rise Together Fund at Proteus Fund. These are our peers in the industry and people that are doing fantastic work. So if you don't know about these institutions, go look them up, as your organizations can also benefit from them. This year, we are honored to have as a nominee the Doris Duke Foundation for their Building Bridges program. And this program works to elevate U.S. Muslim storytelling with the goal of increasing mutual understanding and well-being among diverse populations for the benefit of building stronger, more inclusive communities. The program is anchored in the conviction that strategic use of the arts and media can help provide an effective social prescription for achieving this vision. I'm so glad to be giving this award to Zeba Rahman and the team at the Doris Duke Foundation and the Building Bridges program. Congratulations on the Outstanding Foundation or Grantmaker Award from American Muslim Community Foundation. We just did this, so I'm going to fly through this again. So next up, we have the Outstanding Fundraising Professional. If you are in fundraising, you know it is not easy. In the past, we were awarded Sanat Karkat, Hamna Khuld, and Azhar Aziz. Some of these names you will recognize as they were nominated for other categories as well. And this year, we had a fantastic nominee, Afshan Malik from Rabata, and her exceptional leadership as a director of development drives transformative impact. With a master's in nonprofit management and certification in fundraising, she consistently surpasses ambitious campaigns and goals, such as exceeding the $750,000 last year to sustain Rabata's programs like the Rabat Academic Institute and Daybreak Press. A master grant writer, strategic networker, and multitasking powerhouse. Let me tell you, I tried finding her at Rabata's booth at ISNA like 5 different times, and she was always in donor meetings. So congratulations on that. Afshan's dedication empowers Muslim women globally through education, spiritual growth, and positive cultural change. I'm so honored to be giving this award to Afshan as an outstanding fundraising professional at Rabata. Congratulations. Next up, for Outstanding Nonprofit, we have had the privilege of giving this award to institutions like Yalla Qapada, Yaqeen Institute, and Muslim Anti-Racism Collaborative. And this year we have a lot of nominees, and this one is another contested award. So we're going to get through it as quickly as possible. Aquat USA exemplifies transformative approach to poverty alleviation, is rooted in Islamic principles through the interest-free microfinance program. They also creates lasting change, making it a beacon of community-driven empowerment and resilience, impacting millions through their healthcare, vocational training, education, and emergency relief. American Pakistan Foundation has empowered young Pakistani Americans through mentorship, professional development, and cultural immersion programs, and providing transformative opportunities that bridge local and global communities. Dr. Qureshi's dedication to youth empowerment and cross-cultural understanding continues to shape impactful leaders. Indian Muslim Relief and Charities is a steadfast force in social service and community upliftment, addressing critical needs through millions of dollars annually to support food distribution, education, and health initiatives across India to support not only Muslim, but minority communities affected there, alleviating hunger, empowering underprivileged communities, and inspiring hope. Mosaic DMV is dedicated to empowering refugees, women, and children through their holistic programs that support their resettlement, education, and self-sufficiency. They offer educational classes, community building activities, and address refugees' social, economic, and psychological needs. And they often integrate this through community engagement, empowerment, and serving both the local and global audiences through collaborations and volunteer efforts. Muslim Legal Fund of America has been tirelessly advocating for student rights to protect on campuses, defending freedom of expression and combating Islamophobia. Over the past 5 years, MLFA has doubled its budget and staff and enhancing its ability to support the Muslim community. Despite facing hate and opposition, particularly regarding issues of anti-Muslim, anti-Arab, and anti-Palestinian sentiment, MLFA has remained steadfast in its commitment to justice. The Muslim Foster Care Association was founded in 2016 and has become a vital resource for Muslim youth in foster care, offering direct support to over 160 foster children, including both domestic and refugee youth. MFCA's mission centers on ensuring that every Muslim foster child grows in a nurturing environment that honors their faith and identity. Muscare is a community-driven organization that has been making an impact for over 8 years, both locally and globally. Through their Facebook group, they connect Muslims to support one another, fund schools and wealth projects overseas, and assist with rent, medical bills, tuition, and more. They also run a monthly hunger truck, providing essential food donations to those in need. Rabata, which we've been hearing about all day, and I love it, is a Minnesota-based nonprofit founded to empower Muslim women and children. They have made a profound impact in over 90 countries. As it celebrates 10 years as an official nonprofit next year in 2025, Rabata offers a diverse range of programs, including traditional Islamic learning, spiritual mentorship, youth development, and a publishing press for Muslim women. Sakan Community Resource is a vital hub for addressing a wide range of community needs, and Sister Johanna has been leading those efforts revolving around housing, financial assistance, education, and mental health support. Through Sakan's inclusive and accessible programs, she ensures clients not only receive immediate relief, but also have opportunities for long-term growth. The Unity Lab has been a powerful advocate for youth safety and peace through their impactful Ceasefire for the Kids campaign, which raises awareness about the impact of violence on children and promotes advocacy for Palestinian rights. Since 2003, the campaign has focused on educating communities about how taxes are used to fund Israel, making it the first of its kind to address both Palestinian advocacy and youth protection through billboards and mobile trucks. The Unity Lab's dedication to these causes continue to inspire communities to take action for the well-being of future generations. And as you've heard, there's so many fantastic organizations that were nominated, and it's always hard to only choose one. And this year, we are honored to give this award of outstanding nonprofit to the Unity Lab. Congratulations. This year, we have a new category for Outstanding Mosque, and we have 2 organizations that were nominated. One is Masjid al-Islam in Dallas, Texas, which serves as an inspiring model of compassion and community service, offering food and clothing and essential support to marginalized individuals without asking for anything in return. They take care of their community despite limited resources, and this Black-led mosque has prioritized selfless giving and inclusivity, embodying the true spirit of Islam. Next up, we have Masjid Umar bin Khattab under leadership of Ibrahim Akhtar, and has become a cornerstone of community support, known for its dedication to creating an inclusive and uplifting environment. Over the last few years, this mosque has made significant impact through its spiritual and social efforts, enriching the lives of its community members and fostering a strong, supportive community. This year, we are grateful to give the first award for Outstanding Mosque to Masjid al-Islam in Dallas, Texas. Congratulations. Next up, another new award for Outstanding School. This year, we have 2 nominees in this category. At Noor Academy at IAGD, Sister Anjum is a dedicated and passionate administrator and has created a loving and nurturing environment for Muslim children. Despite facing challenges and limited support, she runs the school efficiently and effectively, always prioritizing the well-being of the students. Noor Academy's mission, coupled with Sister Anjum's insightfulness and willingness to fight for what she believes in, makes Noor Academy a beacon of faith, knowledge, and character. Next up, we have Noor al-Iman, a pre-K through 12 Islamic institution in central New Jersey, which has been empowering students for over 30 years by integrating academic excellence with Islamic values. Under the leadership of Dr. Tami Al-Mansouri, the school offers a diverse curriculum, including Quranic teachings, STEM workshops, and AP courses, fostering well-rounded leaders committed to justice, equity, and empathy. They have high standards, which has resulted in a 100% college matriculation rate, with alumni attending prestigious universities like Yale and Princeton. And this year, we are honored to provide the first award for Outstanding School to Noor al-Iman School. Congratulations. Next up, we have a new category in the Outstanding Healthcare Clinic. And this year, we have a nomination by the public for UHI Community Care Clinic, which has been providing free healthcare services in underserved communities in South Florida, regardless of religion, with a focus on cultural competence and community engagement. The clinic offers a wide range of services, including primary care, mental health counseling, podiatry, optometry, pediatrics, and more. Led by Zeki, the clinic continues to be a vital part of South Florida's healthcare landscape, exemplifying the spirit of service and dedication to those in need. Congratulations to UHI Community Care Clinic on the Outstanding Healthcare Clinic Award. There are over 90 Muslim-led healthcare clinics across the country, and that's what inspired us to create this as a separate category. So we encourage you to have more nominees in the Outstanding Mosque, Outstanding School, and Outstanding Healthcare Clinic categories in the future. Next up, we have the Outstanding Corporation. Past recipients have been Launch Good, Immigrantly, and Saturna Capital. This year, we have Meta Mosque, led by Zeki Al-Khanshawni, and it's revolutionizing the way Muslims engage with their faith through cutting-edge technology by creating a virtual reality mosque tour application and a Muslim AI companion. MetaMosque brings the mosque experience to users' homes, making Islamic spaces and knowledge more accessible and immersive. This innovative, unique platform provides an original approach that allows Muslims worldwide to connect with their faith in new and engaging ways. Next up, we have Muslim News, led by Amir Khatatbi, who has had a profound impact on the representation and voice of the Muslim community in the Muslim media, overall. This initiative challenges stereotypes, fosters inclusivity, and serves as a powerful tool for advocating for the rights and visibilities of Muslims in America and beyond. You can see the impact they've had on social media, in their blog, in their news sources, in interviews. Through his efforts, Amir has established a critical space for authentic representation and has become a key figure in shaping conversations around race, religion, and gender in the media. This year, we are honored to award Muslim for their Muslim news coverage as the Outstanding Corporation. All right, almost through it. We've already acknowledged all of our sponsors. You know that a portion of today's proceeds will go to support the Collaborative Fund for Palestine. We want to have you scan this QR code and support AMCF. And we have 2 more categories that we're going to get through for Outstanding Philanthropist and Lifetime Achievement. In the past, we have awarded Nasruddin Rabbani, Rubina Dalal, and Dilnaz Warich as Outstanding Philanthropists. And this is a fantastic category to showcase the impact that community members can have. It's not necessarily about how much you give, it's about how you inspire others as well. Nusrat Ahmed is a dynamic leader and philanthropist whose career and charitable work have made a profound impact on both local and global communities. As president and CEO of the Chicago Clinical Research Institute, she's demonstrated exceptional strategic insight, overseeing complex projects and driving successful outcomes. Beyond her professional achievements, she has supported numerous nonprofit organizations, including Rabata, with both financial donations and hands-on mentorship. Next up, we have Sadia Ahmed, who has made a significant impact by launching the first Muslim Women's Giving Circle in Dallas, called 200 Muslim Women Who Care, Dallas, quickly recruiting over 100 members who each contribute $100, raising $10,000 in grants within the first 60 days. In just 6 months, this giving circle has donated over $24,000 to local charities, with plans to reach $44,000 by the end of this year. Sadia not only helped establish this chapter, but also plays a key role in forming an advisory board as well. Our next nominee, Akilia Rankin, the organization Should I Revert Wali has made a significant impact by creating a comprehensive free resource hub designed to support reverts and converts and Muslims in deepening their faith. After months of dedication and work on this platform, which offers a wide range of educational materials, personalized mentoring, Quranic lessons, and community support all in one accessible space, the platform also offers a unique accountability buddy system for Quranic Arabic lessons and furthering empowering users to build a stronger community. It's an honor to name Sadia Ahmed as the Outstanding Philanthropist Award winner for her work with the 200 Muslim Women Who Care. Congratulations to all of the nominees. The Lifetime Achievement Award, which is a fantastic showcase of community members. In the past, we've awarded this to Manzoor Ghori of IMRC, Makram Al-Amin of Minnesota, and Ahmed Al-Hattab of Virginia in the past. This year, with our esteemed nominees, I would like to introduce Dr. James Jones, who is the Executive Vice President of the Islamic Seminary of America and a Professor Emeritus of World Religions with extensive experience in addressing the intersectionality of sexism, racism, and prejudice. He holds degrees from Yale Divinity School, Hartford Seminary, and has made a significant contribution to the Christian-Muslim relations and is a trusted marriage counselor with over 2 decades of experience. As president of the Malik Human Services Institute, he supports community resilience while empowering a Muslim youth through the Center for Ethical and Effective Organizational Leadership, SOUL, a collaborative project with Rabata and the Islamic Seminary. Next up, we have Dr. Ansa Sheikha Tamara Gray, who is the founder of Rabata, an organization dedicated to empowering Muslim women through education, mentorship, and community care. With a doctorate in leadership and extensive training in traditional Islamic sciences from Syria, she has spent over 4 decades in service to her community. As Executive Director and Chief Spirituality Officer of Rabata, Dr. Gray oversees the development of innovative programs like the Rabat Academic Institute, which offers comprehensive Islamic education to thousands of women worldwide. In addition to her leadership at Rabata, she teaches at the Islamic Seminary of America and the Yaqeen Institute, contributing to Islamic scholarship and leadership development. Mr. Nasruddin Rabbani's visionary leadership has transformed lives locally and globally through his work in healthcare, education, and community resilience. As the founder of the Rabbani Foundation and Ibn Sina Foundation, he has provided vital medical, dental, and mental health services to underserved communities in the United States, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Tajikistan, focusing on marginalized populations. His efforts in early childhood development, especially in remote regions, and his promotion of mental health awareness, particularly within the Muslim community, have had a profound impact. Notable achievements include organizing the Muslim Mental Health Conference, planting over 20 million trees in Afghanistan, and securing federal grants for refugee support. And lastly, we have Dr. Sharik Siddiqui, who is a distinguished thought leader and advocate for Muslim philanthropy with over 20 years of service in nonprofit leadership and research. He has authored important studies on fundraising and the Muslim nonprofit sector and has been instrumental in raising awareness about Muslim giving through webinars and national initiatives. Despite significant health challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Sharik continued to support communities affected by poverty, inequality, racism, and Islamophobia, helping nonprofits navigate these issues. If you are remotely involved with nonprofit fundraising, you know of Dr. Sharik through his work at the Muslim Philanthropy Initiative, Center on Muslim Philanthropy, and Indiana University, Indianapolis. He's been a board member of the Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, alongside his tremendous work at the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. And through his innovative and collaborative efforts, he has secured funding and created lasting impact. And it is my great honor and distinguished privilege to name Dr. Sharik Siddiqui as the award winner for Lifetime Achievement. All of this is super hard because there are so many qualified nominees in every single category. And I want to thank you for your participation, for staying on a little bit longer. A final shout out to our sponsors. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining today. And last but not least, please remember AMCF in your year-end contributions. And as we come to Ramadan next year, we can all use your support. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today. Thank you to our speakers, Amina Saeed and Abaydullah Evans, and the entire AMCF staff. Go back into VFairs, check out the sponsorship booths, chat with other participants, and thank you so much for being here today. Assalamu alaikum.